Glam Fam, welcome to today's video. We're testing out the brand new Natasha Denona Glam Face and Eye Palette. You guys, this is stunning. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait for you guys to see how these shades applied, how the blush and highlighter. This is your all-in-one everyday palette. Oh my goodness, I have the light version that we're going to play, but I also have swatches of the dark version, and I have a lot of swatch comparisons. We're gonna test this out on my mature skin. If you're new here, I'm Kristi. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and click that post notification bell so you can get notified. We're here every Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific time, and I'd really love for you to join our beautiful Glam Fam community. Click that like button, you guys. It really does help my videos out when you hit that like button and you give this video a huge thumbs up and comment below. I always love hearing from you guys. And if you're new, introduce yourself. We've had a lot of new Glam Fam members join our beautiful community, and I would love for you to introduce yourself if you're new to this video. Thank you so much. I have all the links below, and I will have everything that I have on my face linked below. So please utilize those links. As always, you guys, it really does help support my channel when you utilize the links. And when you follow me at Kristi Allure on Instagram, on TikTok, Kristi Allure, and on my blog, kristiallure.com. And without further ado, let's get started. Let's get started. I am so excited to try out this new Natasha Denona Glam palette. I do want to just really fast tell you guys that I have the Sephora Best Skin Ever foundation on right now. Oh my goodness, you guys. This is a very beautiful foundation. I'll show how I applied it. It's $20. It's available in 50 shades. I did go with 12Y, which is light skin with yellow undertones. Now this will be too light during the summertime, but it works well for the winter time and not bad again for $20. I actually used the Ordinary concealer. I went back to it. I did a video like a couple months back on reviewing this, and I couldn't believe for $5 how amazing this concealer was. And I really love how beautiful it is. This is the 1.2 YG. And it just brightens, it doesn't crease. I can't believe it's only $5, it's crazy. Anyway, I did that, and I also used the Saie bronzer. I told you guys I was gonna purchase this during the VIB sale, and I got it when I did the Natasha Denona Glam palette. This is actually the lightest one. I'll put the shade right there. I had purchased the medium. I had that wrong when I did the Sephora video. I purchased the medium before. I got the light one. So the light one works much better for my skin tone. And then I set it with the Natasha Denona contour powder. You guys already know this is shade 2. Medium, it's more of a cool tone. I have the darker one for bronzing, and it's beautiful as well. All right, you guys, so the Natasha Denona Glam palette, this is part of her family now. She has a whole glam family, just like our family on YouTube. We have our Glam Fam family. And we all love the Natasha Denona original midi Natasha Denona Glam palette. I did end up picking the mini Glam up in the sale, so I'm gonna give you all the swatch comparisons in just a second. Just remind you guys, this is the Glam midi palette. This new Glam face palette, all new colors, and it doesn't overlap with either the mini or the midi. Let's first take a look at the actual packaging. Can we just talk about how gorgeous this packaging is? This is by far my favorite Natasha Denona packaging ever. Now, the downside is if you look at the back, there's no hole, so you cannot interchange colors because this is an actual face and eye palette. It makes sense why she did that. So I appreciate that, and I'm okay with that. but that packaging is slim, it's lightweight, yet it's stunning and luxe looking. It looks expensive looking. And honestly, I don't think that's a bad price point for what you're getting inside, especially the quality. I haven't tried it on my eyes, but just swatching it, oh, is a whole nother story. So let's take a look at those shades right there. That is the cream blush. There's no name for it, you guys. It's just the cream blush. And then the Star Glow is the highlighter. You see that swatch on my finger, just picking that up? It is scrumptious. It is a highlighter I have never seen before. It is so creamy to touch. And then let's take a look at those eyeshadows. And just so you guys know, the names are exactly the same in the light and the dark palette. They're just different tones, of course. She basically labeled it for you guys that are just like not that comfortable with creating eyeshadow looks. This is the beauty of the Glam midi, and this palette is she explains where each one of these go with the shade names. These are not tones that are gonna be like very dramatic, but you can make them dramatic with eyeliners and stuff like that. This is your everyday palette though for my girls that are my skin tone. If you're lighter, they are gonna be more dramatic. If you're more on the fair side, they're gonna be very dramatic. As you can see, the darker ones are more warm tones, where the light palette is more neutral. I mean, you can even say it leans a little warm, but more neutral. I wouldn't say cool, I would say more neutral tones. Whereas the dark palette is more warm than anything else. Deep, beautiful shades, both of them are stunning. So if I own the Glam palette, Kristi, the midi and the mini, do I need this palette? Well, of course you don't need it, but they're completely different shades, and I think even completely different tones. So if you already own the midi and the mini, this is just a bonus. This is just another extension of her Glam family. So yes, you can absolutely get this palette and not feel like you're wasting your money because you already have it in the other palettes. So if you look at it next to the mini, the midi, and then I have the light arm swatches and the dark arm swatches. You can see right there, they're all different tones. There are no similarities, in my opinion, when it comes to the actual Glam family. Now, there are other similarities in another palette I'll mention in just a second, but not in the Glam family. You can see each one of those are definitely different. When looking at the mini Glam, let's just take a look at that one. I just got that one. I don't know how the shadows perform, but I can tell you right now, they swatch amazing. So I can't wait to create a look with that one. But I do find that that one's more cool neutral, like probably more neutral, I would say. More neutral than anything else. Then you got the midi Glam. That is definitely pulling more cool tones and neutral tones. A big favorite to a lot of us. I know a lot of us just obsess over that mini Glam. It's just beautiful and it's all the right shades. The light palette is to me like the mini Glam, where it's definitely more neutral. So you are not overlapping at all. Let's take a look at that next picture. So this is where I find the comparisons. If you own the Biba palette, and I'll show the Biba palette the full arm swatches because I didn't do that in the last video when I actually, and you can check out my last video by the way, because I created a whole Biba look. And by far, one of my #1 palettes I own is that Biba palette. Now, let's take a look at the next picture, and that shows you the light palette, the dark palette, the newest ones, compared to Biba swatches. So if you look at the light versus the Biba palette, there are definitely some similarities. So when you look at inner corner, it is very similar to Monroe. When you look at transition, similar to Buff, but not exactly. To me, Buff pulls a little bit more warm, where transition in the newest light palette pulls a little bit more cool toned. And then you see crease. Crease is definitely more neutral on the light palette. And then if you look at outer corner from the light palette, it's very similar to Shine in the Biba palette. But Shine doesn't have as much sparkle, but there's definitely more pigment in there, I can say that. And then you look at Smoke versus, I would say Cocoa came the closest, and Smoke actually pulls a little bit more warm neutral, and Cocoa is definitely more cool toned from the Biba palette and a lot deeper. So definitely deep, you see more deepness in the Biba palette than you do in the light. So in that case, I don't feel like I'm wasting my money, because again, I was looking for transition shades from the Biba palette that I didn't get, and now I get it in the light palette. So it's something I can bring together. Now let's take a look at dark palette versus the Biba palette. Similar shades would be like Rustic from the Biba palette for the inner corner. Now Rustic definitely pulls a little more depth in there. You guys know Apps is one of my favorite shades from the Biba palette, whereas you can see on the inner corner, that's a little bit more warm and not as much depth. Again, more of like a topper shine. It's definitely going to be a little bit, I think, even shinier. Those aren't the greatest swatches, you guys. I'm sorry, I don't own that palette. I just try to do it really fast in store. And then Freckle versus Transition. Freckle definitely pulls, probably they're both very warm, but has a little bit more yellow tone to it. I think a yellow undertone with Freckle, where Transition on the dark palette is definitely more on the orange side, I would say. That would be the difference between those. Now these look very similar. Seed and Crease look very, 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 very similar. Maybe a little bit more depth with Seed again. But probably if I had time to really swatch that Crease, it would have probably pulled a little bit more depth. And then Shine and Outer Corner, again, very similar, just like in the last palette. And then very similar would be Cocoa and Smoke from the, ironically, I don't know about you guys, but Smoke and Crease should have been flipped around in that dark palette, because to me, Smoke in the dark palette, now again, that's not the best swatch, but even just looking at the undertone looks more of like a transition shade to me, or a crease shade, than a smoke shade, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. So I'm excited to add it to my collection. Plus, I've never tried her cream, and I love that she has this little, you know, thing. It comes in all her little face palettes, and I know Patrick Ta does the same thing, but Natasha was the first one to start this. But I like that, you know, you can close that off and not get it into there. This is just the most incredible highlighter shade. I cannot believe it. This looks like there's a lot, like it's gonna be strong when you look at when you look at it head on, but when you actually swatch it, it's very natural. There's not a whole lot there. So I think, and that's a cream, but it kind of feels more like a cream to powder type formula. So let's start off with her order, you know, because that's what she has in here, and I want to make it more realistic to what you guys would do. So we'll start off with Transition, and that is more of like a, I don't know, like a peachy undertone to me. So it's really pretty. All right, so I'm going to use it on this Wayne Goss number 16 brush, and we're going to take that shade. It's clean, and we're going to just pop that in right here. So pretty. Very natural on my skin tone, being light medium. This will definitely pop more on a fair skin tone, but very pretty. And this is what it's meant to be. It's Transition. Very creamy, just like her 129 palettes. I really feel like this formula right here is giving me her Biba and $129, because you guys know I already mentioned this in the last video that I do feel like her 129 and her minis are very different compared to the midi palettes. Now, not to say that this one doesn't perform well, it performs very beautifully, but there is a difference. I can tell the difference. So we're just kind of creating that transition right there. As you guys know, I always like to blow it out with a contour shade. So I am gonna go in with this Wayne Goss Edit Brush number 5. Oh my gosh, you guys, I love these Wayne Goss Edit brushes. If you want to splurge for Christmas, this is a line of eyeshadow brushes I definitely recommend you getting, or just the whole line, because I have the contour that I really like too. I think I have one more I need to get. I should have just bought the set, but I just bought them in increments because it gets expensive. But I just like to do that to kind of blow it out there. As you guys know, I always kind of do that with my shadows. So I'm gonna go in with Crease, because that's what we're doing. We're going in order here. Very pretty. I just cleaned all my brushes, so we are good. And we're just gonna put that one right in here. So easy, just really easy, just like the Biba palette. Now let's just say, Kristi, I don't want to spend a lot of money on the Biba palette. I don't want to spend $129. And I think by the time I push out this video, we'll have one more day. Yeah, tomorrow, because I'm filming this on a Monday, but Sunday, tomorrow, Monday, when you guys are watching this, the sale will still be till I think midnight, basically, on the VIB, where you can still try to get your hands on this, or do a store pickup, because a lot of the times, like, this wasn't available online. I had to do a store pickup. That was the only way I can get my hands on this palette. Now I'm gonna go back in to that first Wayne Goss number 16 brush. We're gonna go back in to Transition, that for second color in the palette. and just go above that and just make sure we buff out the edges. Now let's go in with a smaller brush and we're gonna go into that deepest shade, Smoke. I'm gonna try to keep this one really tight right here. That is a very beautiful color. Now when you're trying to really kind of keep that crease or that's, you know, that smoke right into that, you know, designated area, you really want to just press it in first, because if I went in there and just went like that, that's when you can start getting like, you know, where you see things separate or, you know, smudgy or I don't know, blotchy. Blotchy is the word I'm looking for. I'll get there eventually. That's when that can happen. But if you really press that in, first of all, you avoid fallout, which is nice, which I don't really think this is really gonna have any issues with that. But with even other shadows, if you're using other shadows that fall out, that prevents that from happening. And it really kind of keeps it in that area. Do the same thing on this side. Then what happens is I'll blend it out with the other shade. So even though it looks a little crazy right now, it will blend out. I love these Sonia G brushes, especially this mini booster, because it places it in, but yet it still keeps it blended as well, which I really, really like about that. Now we're gonna go into this clean brush first. So I'm gonna take this Anastasia A19, or no, A10, sorry, A10 brush, and I'm just gonna kind of go above that area and just kind of clean it up. I like to do a clean brush first, because if I go in there with the other color I was using, it's just gonna get too aggressive. And I noticed that myself. I mean, I learn too as I go what I like and what I don't like. So from now on, I'm just gonna start doing a clean brush. I'm gonna go back into this BK Beauty 206 brush, but I think this will make it so that I don't go up too high. Yeah, that's better. So I should have used this one originally when I did the crease shade. I think that would have been better, because I started getting too high up there. Again, you don't want to use too big of a brush. So I brought that in a little bit more than I did that one. I like this side. I like this side better, but it's done. It's already there. So we're gonna go with it. And if you have hooded eyes, one thing you want to make sure to do is really angle the mirror more like underneath you. I don't know how to explain it without having a mirror here. Let me grab this mirror. You want to make sure you're looking above like that, and that will help you, because that is going to make a difference with your eyeshadow looks, believe it or not. And what you can do is I'm going to take my Charlotte Tilbury powder, okay, and I'm going to take that, swirl that in there, make sure I dust that off, and I'm just going to go over that area. See, by doing that, I just diffused out that whole area. And you have to make sure this is a clean brush. You cannot do this with a dirty brush. See how that just diffused out any mistakes I had? So I really love doing this. This is like one of a big trick I've always done with my shadows. And you guys, I have been doing eyeshadow because I was a professional NBA dancer. Not all the times do we have pro makeup artists there to do our makeup. A lot of the times we did, but not every single time we had a game, we had pro makeup artists. I had to do my own eyeshadow a lot of the times. And, you know, I just knew like smoky eyes were the only thing that was gonna show up on court when 17,000 people are looking at you. You're just this itty bitty thing on the court. You have to have, you know, very glam eyes. So I've been doing this a long time, and you know, you just get used to it. It's almost like second nature. I can sit here when I'm not filming and do it well, not quickly, let's be honest. I take forever to get ready. But I'm a perfectionist and I like everything to be perfect, so that makes a difference as well. All right, and I'm very glad I went with this one. I'm so glad. I liked the dark one, but I am very glad the more I'm playing with this. I didn't even realize how much depth I was gonna get from this, and I am here for it. I'm going back into that transition shade, and I'm gonna go in there and just kind of go over everything, just to kind of, again, that kind of blends things out too when you do that. When you take that first transition shade and just go over even the smoky area, just to kind of calm it down a little bit too. All right, now let's go into these metallic shades. So you're going outer corner. Do I put that right here? You can do anything you want. Makeup is personal. Makeup is your creation. You're the artist. This is your own canvas. You do what you want. There's no rules. And if anyone tells you differently, you just say, you know what? You shrug it off and say, that's okay. It's not for you, but this is me. This is what I like to create. I've learned that over the years. So what I'm gonna do with this shade is I'm just gonna stick to this part of the outer. So not necessarily that outer corner, I'm gonna stick to that, okay? So I'm gonna take that shade and I was gonna lay down a base. Now grant you, I could even put, you know, my Denona Kristi Color Fix or something like that underneath this, and that will really pop. But I want you guys to see what this palette looks like without those. So I'm just gonna take that shade right there. I'm sorry it's my middle finger, but it's my strongest pressure. That's the only reason why I'm using it. So yeah, that is definitely more of like a topper shade. It is very sparkly. Very, very, very sparkly. So for me personally, I just know I'm not gonna like this like that, but I wanted to show you what it would look like. So what I'm gonna do is I am gonna take my Denona Kristi because that's what I would normally do. So I'm gonna take because this will be a perfect color tone for this. Ooh. Do you guys always have an eye that works better? Like this eye for me is better than that eye. I don't know if you guys, comment below if you have an eye that you just like, when you create eyeshadow looks, you like better. I know you do. Maybe you're like, no, Kristi, actually both of my eyes are perfect. You're the one that's dysfunctional. It's okay, you can tell me that too. By the way, I wanna welcome some new, sorry, that was really loud. I wanna welcome some new GlamFam members. We had some new Glam sisters join our beautiful family. So welcome. I love, love, love that a lot of you introduce yourselves. If you are new and maybe you've been watching a few of my videos and you haven't commented below, comment below, say hello to us. We are a fun little GlamFam community. Now I am gonna wet my brush and I'm just gonna dip back into there. Oh my gosh, you guys, that shade is insane. So even with the wet brush, I'm seeing some fallout though. It almost has like a little bit of a pink undertone to it. I told Amber I was gonna do an all foundation, powdered foundation look where I use no liquids. Except for like my primer and my concealer and stuff like that, but like a powdered foundation look instead of using like a liquid foundation. I'm gonna do that video, so I'm filming that, but I'm thinking of doing like an all matte eyeshadow look, like a total 90s, because actually powdered foundation is more 90s. It's my generation, so I'm thinking about doing that. Let me know, comment below if you want me to do that with the powdered foundation look. I thought that would be fun. I'm gonna take a smaller concealer type brush and we're gonna go into the inner corner one and we're gonna pop that into this inner area. Oh, I know what I was gonna do and I didn't do it, you guys. Okay, this is an idea you guys can do at home. Instead of even doing the Denona Kristi where the cream, you cannot do that and actually use, because there's a lot of pigment in this highlighter. See how much pigment there is? You could actually put that down first. Let's put that in the center. Wow, that's pretty. Do you see that? And that lays down a little bit more. Do you see that? You see the pigment right away. Yeah, that's much better. And then what you can do is take, you know, inner corner on, you know, I'm again just using my middle finger because there's more pressure point there. Yes, and then put that over it. Oh, that's even better. Okay, so that's another option you can do. Let's say I don't want to do the cream. Do that first. Before you do that, even if you don't use a cream, put that as your base and then put those on top. And that's gonna give you a lot more for it to adhere to, and especially for us mature skin ladies that have a little bit more texture on our eyes. We're not, you know, 19 anymore where we don't have any texture on our eyes. I'm gonna say that because I even think girls in their 20s and 30s nowadays have texture. So if you have any kind of texture on your eye lid, make sure you lay down some type of base where it's cream or this highlighter, and because otherwise it's just gonna accentuate all of that and you're gonna see it. You're gonna see through it. So just keep that in mind. All right, I'm done babbling. Now let's go back into smoke on that Sony G brush. All right, now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna just smoke it out. I'm gonna use the Victoria Beckham because it is one of my favorite liners to use. And I'm just gonna put that right here. I like to do the, because I like my eyes more rounded out, I like to do just the center and then pull it out with a brush. See, what I like about this liner is it's easy to do that with. It's easy to pull. All right, I'm gonna take smoke and take that onto, and any type of small pencil brush will work. And just start smoking out that liner. Taking the Sigma E35, going back into transition, the middle color, And this is a little bit smaller, so I can really make sure I stay in the lines. And we're gonna use crease again, and we're just going to smoke out that lower lash line. All right, now for the inner corner, I'm actually gonna take this highlighter, the Star Glow, because it has more pigment in there. Yeah, much better for the brow bone. And I'm gonna go back into that little Morphe brush and just kind of clean up that area. All right, you guys, so I popped on my lashes. I am wearing the lengthy Anastasia Beverly Hills eyelashes. I talked about that in my last video, and I have been loving these lashes. They just are so easy to apply. You guys, one thing, I always like to live like a little like takeaway from my video. I'm gonna try to do that from now on. Try. And one takeaway I can say is if you are a false lash wearer, you need these two things in your life. First of all, you need these tweezers. I talked about them in a favorites video a while back. They're in my Amazon store. I'll put the price point. I think you get like 2 of them for like $9 or something like that. These are like heaven sent for really like meshing your lashes in with your false lashes. Plus it has those rubber tips to really make sure that you get it in there. It is like a game changer for me with eyelashes. And then my Kiss glue. This is like a liner glue. I do my regular eyeliner with the Anastasia, and you guys know I just talked about this. I don't need to reiterate how much I love this, but it's like my holy grail eyeliner. I have that on, but what I do is I go over, right before I'm gonna put my lashes on, I put the glue on first. Like I use, this is the only glue I can use right now. This is the Kiss with aloe vera in it. It's the only one that doesn't affect my eyes right now, and it holds. And it's really inexpensive, less than $5. So is this, it's so inexpensive, less than $10. And when I put the glue on each lash while they're drying, I actually put this over my eyeliner. Since I already have the liner down, I don't like this as just eyeliner. It doesn't work that good. But if you put this over your liner and just really focusing on like the inner corners and the outer corners and even that inside middle section, I just kind of like, it's just extra adhesion, and it makes your lashes last all day long, and it really makes it so that you don't have like any kind of gaps either. Oh my gosh, this is heaven sent. Make sure you store it upside down like all brow pens. I did go back to, actually I'll just talk about that in my favorites video, or my fails and faves video I'm gonna shoot here soon. So I love the way everything turned out. This palette is absolutely gorgeous. Obviously the lashes give it way more smoky and glam. Of course it was, you know, the introduction to it. I had to go glam, you guys. I mean, it just had to. I do want to try out this Makeup by Mario lipstick. I did purchase this during the VIB sale when I picked up this glam palette. This is the shade Aaron. It is beautiful. I'll show the swatch on my arm. This is a little bit more pink though than I wanted. I want to test out the formula though really quick. I am gonna go in with Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude in this lip liner. And I'm gonna go in with the new Makeup by Mario lipstick. Ooh, I like this formula. And it feels like matte, but it kind of has like a cushiony feel. I am gonna put a little bit of Natasha Charlotte in the middle just to kind of just give it some brown in there. You guys know this is like a holy grail of mine. Charlotte from Natasha Denona I Need a Nude is a holy grail nude for me. Oh, that's beautiful, you guys. Actually, it's a really good combination. I think what I'm gonna do, because I don't want to take away the color, I'm just gonna take a little bit of the Forget the Filler. It goes over any lipstick with perfection, and it doesn't ruin the color. All right, let's go in with the blush and the highlighter. I think what I'm gonna do first though is put the highlighter on. Sometimes when I don't want it to have any demarcation lines, I feel like that's the best way to do it, especially since it is more of like a cream to powder. I think I'm gonna take this Anastasia A23, and we're just gonna put that here. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. And you can even just dab it too, however you want to do it. But ooh, 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 ooh. Wow, that is like glowy but not hoey, as Scott Burns would say. I did not make that up. Wow, she is pretty. Ooh, I'm a little aggressive on my nose too. Ooh, 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 ooh. I was supposed to put it on my Cupid's bow, but you know, that's okay. So I already knew I was gonna like this highlighter because it was really beautiful. Beautiful with on the lids and as the inner corner and everything. So, oh, that highlighter is stunning. All right, let's go in with the blush. I'm gonna take this Huda Beauty sponge since it's clean. So we're gonna do it the way she recommends doing it. All right, so it's not a lot in there. All right, I'm gonna do a brush because I don't feel like that's really doing anything for me. I'm just gonna try it with a brush. I just want to. This is a Smashbox cheek brush. Okay, so I don't really see much action going on there. Let's try the Stands Out Beauty one. Let's do that. Okay, we'll try that instead. We'll just do that. All right, I'm really digging in there. I don't really see much color popping out. Do you guys? Oh yeah, okay. Oh, so the Stands Out Beauty sponge is the best application for this. So I actually really like it with my sponge, with this Stands Out Beauty sponge. I didn't like it with the blender. It's pretty though. For my girls that are not big blush people, I think, but you want some type of rosy tone, I think this is beautiful. And the formula is amazing. I think the darker palette probably would have popped a little bit more for me. It's not like, you know, enhancing my pores. It's very forgiving on mature skin. It is beautiful. The more I'm looking at it, the more I'm like, ooh. Even though I'm building it up, it's not like crazy, you know, and I don't even have to, you don't have to dust it off on the back of your hand at all, that's for sure. I think this would serve as a really good base. If you're like me and you like a lot of blush, this would serve as a good base. But it's still beautiful on its own. And I like that I did the highlighter, see, then it avoids having any kind of demarcation lines. So we'll take Warm Honey and put that over it onto this Smashbox brush. Yeah. I just gave it a little bit more zhoosh than I like. So pretty though, right? Over that, it's gonna really make it stay too. I'm gonna take the clean part of the sponge and just go over it. I still love this sponge so much, you guys. I did my foundation, my powders, my concealer. I did everything with this. And the blush, it actually applied the blush really, really, really beautiful. Let's take Hourglass Dim Light. Do you see how it just softens everything out? Oh, it's so pretty. All right, I'm gonna do a little bit more highlighter. So I'm gonna take this Linda Hallberg brush. I'm gonna place that in just a little bit on the high points. So pretty, right, you guys? Let me know, comment below and let me know what you guys think. But I think this look came out so beautiful, and I love, honestly, that I can bring this palette with me and literally it can just go from day to night. This would be the one palette I can take with me on a vacation. It is beautiful. And I think these shades are just your everyday shades, all season shades. But, okay, there's a but in there. So we're gonna get into the rankings in just a second. My but is I'm not a fan of the metallic portion of this palette. I think they're pretty, but they fall out a lot. Now, how I think they need to be used, in my opinion, is really, again, as toppers versus as metallics. What I wish she would have done is this one, I wish that was just her regular metallics. Had more depth, had more base in it, especially for an outer corner for me. I just feel like it just would have pulled off better for me because it was kind of chunky. I'm just being honest, you guys. That one could have stayed, okay? I'm okay with that as like a topper, but this one I felt like should have been a metallic. Other than that, I love the palette. Of course, the blush, I like a little bit more pop, but that's because I have the light one. I think the dark one would have gave me more pop. But for natural looks and for as a base on underneath a blush that I would typically use, I'm okay with that because I think it adds that base without it being too punchy, too much. It doesn't exaggerate the pores. I think it lies very beautiful over mature skin, so therefore it's going to lay beautiful under any age skin. I think this is beautiful. I think no matter what age you are, I even think this would be beautiful for a teenager. I think if you have a teen, 16 to 20, I think this is a phenomenal Christmas present. I really do. Even at full price at $59, it's worth it because you're getting eyeshadows, a blush, and a highlighter. You have to think about it that way. Beautiful packaging. I love it. It's just, again, I would have changed around those metallics a little bit. So add everything together. I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 stars. I would really highly recommend this to anybody because I think it is beautiful. if I'm just looking at it for like a blush perspective, I'm glad I went with the light. If that helps you guys in any bit, I will flash those swatches once again. These swatches will be available on my website, kristiallure.com. All the links will be available in the description box for the products that I discussed today. As always, I really appreciate when you guys utilize my links if you decide to purchase any of these products. I'm trying to be more conscious about putting UK links in there as well. I know I have some beautiful UK subscribers that I love dearly, so I hope this was helpful to you. Comment below and let me know if this was a palette that you wanted during the sale or even after the sale. I know the sale is going to end tomorrow if you're watching this on Sunday. And I just want to know, let me know if this was something you guys wanted. It is a hot commodity product. It was very difficult for me to get my hands on this. I had to go to a lot of different Sephoras to try and find it. And I figured out, and I tried to find the dark one because sometimes they may not have it, you know, online where it says store pickup, but they have it in store. So sometimes you want to check your local Sephoras. And I was hoping the dark one because I wanted to be able to demo both of them for you guys, but I'm glad at least I got the swatches in there. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you're new here and you're just stopping by, please remember to hit that subscribe button before you go and click that notification bell so you can get notified. We're here every Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific time, and we'd love for you to join our beautiful Glam fam. Please give this video a huge thumbs up too, you guys. It really helps my channel out when you hit the like button and when you comment below. Follow me at Kristi Allure on Instagram, on TikTok, Kristi Allure, on my blog, kristiallure.com, and I will see you guys next Sunday. Bye.
Let's get some sun, baby. It's